Good morning. It is 7:19 a.m. on Monday, December 21st, 2020. I am Christiana Ellis and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. Uh, Still a little woozy because I just got up, but that's how it goes. That's how it goes sometimes. Need to get some caffeine in the shower to start the day. What? Rocket's giving me looks like I'm doing something wrong. I'm not sure what it is he thinks I should be doing instead. But, um, where was I? I yesterday talked about plans for a movie watching day, and I carried out those plans. I watched Moana first, and gosh, that movie makes me cry in like 4 different places. You know, it's one of those things too where I remember as a kid, and I don't want to imply that this is only an immature sort of point of view. But I remember as a kid just feeling like, why would you ever want to watch a sad movie? Like, why would you ever want, like, when the idea of, oh, a movie made me cry, but talked about in a positive way, that always seemed strange to me as a kid. Because, like, you cry when you feel bad. You don't want to feel bad. Although I will say, actually, that in terms of, Disney movies that make you cry, um, like the beginning of Up is sort of a classic example. And that one is like that bit is more just like just like really just sad because of course it's beautiful how much this guy loved his wife and now he's lost her. So I sometimes talk with Mike when we talk about movies that there's two kinds of sad. There's beautiful sad and ugly sad. Um, and so that one, beginning of Up is certainly beautiful sad in the sense that we ache for his loss, but it's like other than, the unfortunately ordinary thing that people die. Um, you know, it's really nice. They really loved each other and they had each other and all that. But the only reason I bring that up is just to contrast with the things in Moana that make me cry. Like, they're much more emotionally complicated, right? Because if you think about, like, certainly, spoilers for Moana, I guess, um, there's, sadness about her grandmother dying. But that's all mixed in with these really complicated feelings of disappointing your parents and they're going to be mad and you're worried about that and you're leaving home and you're leaving everything you've ever known and you're going to go do something dangerous, but at the same time you're doing it because it's something you've felt called to do since you were a little kid, and you're finally letting this voice inside you have its due, and you're also aware that it's possible that you are essentially going out to do a historic, heroic mission to save the known world. And all of that is happening at once is kind of amazing. But like, I'm just like tears streaming down my cheeks during that whole bit when she's finally leaving the island. Incredible. I love that movie. I feel like the middle section, like once she finds Maui, kind of up through the climax, feels not as strong to me as the beginning and the end do. But boy, overall, as a sum total, I love that movie so much. And and then I watched Happiest season on Hulu, which is it's a Christmas rom com relationship movie. Sometimes we call those Hallmark movies, even if they're not made from the Hallmark Channel. But one distinction with this one is that it is about a lesbian couple. But other than that, it is still very firmly entrenched in the Christmas rom-com genre in the sense that it takes place at Christmas. It involves the family of at least one of the couple. They go through lots of hardships and tension. It's funny along the way. We meet lots of crazy secondary characters, and then we get a really nice, sweet ending, and really good. Yeah, I mean, if you like that genre, you're interested in seeing a queer take on it. I liked it. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Um, then I watched Mank on Netflix, which is a period piece about 1930s Hollywood and Herman Mankiewicz, who was the screenwriter for Citizen Kane. Now, I liked it, but I feel like it really does require a fair amount of background knowledge, not even just about having seen the movie Citizen Kane, but even some of the other things around it, because it's certainly about making of like what went in. So anyone who doesn't know this should know that the character of Charles Foster Kane in Citizen Kane is based on a real guy, William Randolph Hearst, who was an extremely powerful, rich newspaper magnate. And the idea of making this movie about him, where it really kind of calls out some of the crappy behavior he's had, um, was considered at the time extremely dangerous. Not like you probably wouldn't be killed, but like it's not like you're going to be taken out by an assassin, but it's more just like they have the power to make sure you never work in Hollywood again. That's sort of dangerous. But it was certainly like a big deal, sort of sociopolitically at the time. And so this movie's kind of about what goes into this guy Herman Mankiewicz, who we don't know as much about compared to, say, Orson Welles, uh, and to say like, well, what drives this guy to be willing to do that and then put his name on the screenplay, you know? And so I think it's good, but I feel like you're not going to get nearly as much out of it if you don't have some background knowledge about like the movie Citizen Kane relatively well, and some of the stuff around how it was made too. Feels almost like you're gonna not understand big chunks of the movie if you don't have that. But I did, so I liked it. I thought it was like Gary Oldman's really good in it. I had mixed feelings. It's like I wouldn't say it's like a masterpiece, but I enjoyed it. It's good. And then I rounded out my movie watching day. In between, by the way, on some of these movies, I had a few of the most recent episodes of Bob's Burgers stored up, so I kind of used those as palate cleansers in between some of these. But then also I finished up with Muppet Christmas Carol, which I don't think I'd ever seen the whole thing of all at one sitting before. I'd certainly seen bits of it quite a bit. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a really good, telling. Like the Muppets are just great. Muppets are good. Like, I mean, who doesn't like Muppets? I mean, I suppose people are allowed to not like the Muppets, but they're just like, there's just something really wonderful about them, in my opinion. And I think there's a lot of funny jokes. I think there's a lot of fun stuff. I will say that even though I really enjoy the movie, I did feel a little bit like the actual emotional journey of Scrooge feels like it gets a little bit short shrift because of all the nonsense with the Muppets that we're dealing with. Like all of the just like the jokes of it do actually, for me, take away some from the actual emotional journey of Scrooge. Um, it's fine. I mean, I'm not saying that's a huge problem because I still very much enjoy the movie. Like I enjoy all of the stuff that they're spending that other time on. So it's not like I wish that it was different, but I just sort of couldn't help but feel like every time we have a significant turn for Scrooge's emotions, even though Michael Crane's a great actor, it always felt a little bit like I'm not sure I feel like he's seen enough to justify this, but Tiny Tim though is like, yeah, you know, talking about movies and make you cry again. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, it's very good. And so I enjoyed my movie watching day, and that's my book report. So I will leave it there for now, and I will talk to you all tomorrow for 5 more minutes.